Recording from Chester County, Pennsylvania, this is Coast to Coast Sports, your weekly breakdown of the Philadelphia Eagles, Los Angeles Rams, and NFL teams from around the league. We're recapping last week, previewing what's ahead, and bringing you all the takes in between.
Welcome, everyone, to Coast Sports. My name is Ryan Moore. I'm actually your host this time, not Mike Carnuccio. Also joined by Rams fan Corey Pritchard. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time. First, I'd like to kind of bring up our sponsor for this evening. So this podcast is sponsored by Birdie Board, your all-in-one golf scoring app for matches, teams, and friendly competition. Get it now on Apple, the App Store, or Google Play. So kind of starting off, right? These are our teams. Mike and I love the Eagles. Corey loves the Rams. They face each other this week. So we're kind of going to dive into that and then kind of dive into the matchups for next week. So kind of starting off a bit of a recap, probably the most eventful game of the week. All the sport talking heads are talking about it. We have Eagles versus Rams. Final score was Eagles 33, Rams 26. This was at the link. Eagles are now 3-0. Rams are 2-1. I think kind of in totality, it was a tale of two halves. Eagles offense had only 33 yards in the first half. They trailed around 19-7 at halftime. The Rams looked great, moved the ball up and down the field. Eagles had a massive second half comeback. Jalen Hurts finished 21 of 34, 218 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a second half passer rating of almost 130. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, all kind of added to that. But it kind of the story of the game was, I think, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. They blocked 2 different field goals to kind of keep the Rams. I think they didn't score any points in the second half. So key takeaways for the game. Love to hear from my man Mike first, as the Eagles fan. So Mike, what's your key takeaways? How did the Birds pull this out?
Yeah, so I'll let Corey kind of focus in on the Rams. I do have some takes on the Rams, but I want to let Corey. I want to hear his takes before I say anything because he's the expert on the Rams. Um, so number one take is the Eagles got the punch in the face they needed to say goodbye to their BS conservative play calling and just open up the offense. People, if you've seen it online, there's a video of Jalen having a heated discussion with Kevin Patula saying, "Yo, you're an idiot, and it's time for me to take over this offense." Now, it's interesting because did he actually? I don't know. Did Kevin Patula was Patula like, "All right, here we'll do this now"? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we know the offense opened up, and ultimately, AJ Brown made the Rams cornerbacks his children, and he reminded them that he is their daddy, and that at night he puts them to bed with a warm blanket and one bottle of milk.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact that one of the corners, I didn't know this, actually looked this up. Emmanuel Forbes, number 25 for the Rams, same guy who got burned by AJ twice in Philly 2 years ago.
Against the Commanders, right?
Week 5 against the Commanders. It was Sam Howell who was on that Washington team, now on the Birds. Fun fact: Howell actually hit Jahan Dotson for a touchdown, sending it to overtime. Also a Bird. But yeah, so they have some familiar connections from the past. So that's honestly that. There's tons of other deals I'd like to get into on the game, but that to me is the takeaway for the Birds is this punch in the face that led to a complete change in the offense that hopefully awakened this team to take their offensive scheme more seriously and make these adjustments moving forward.
Love it. Over to you, Core.
So not the ending I was hoping for as a Rams fan. The first half, I was like, we are going to roll till the end. But I've seen this Rams team before, and I could kind of see it coming. You watch underdog teams all the time come out really, really strong, and then it's the great teams that are able to pull it out in the second half. It just happened in the Tennessee-Georgia game. Tennessee came out
Yep.
so good in the first half, and but Georgia, you could just tell they were the better team, and they started inching back. Um, if you were going to lose to a team, you want to lose to probably the best team in the NFL. So I guess that's silver lining. It's not like we lost to the Titans or anything like that.
Hmm.
It makes sense we lost in the second half because of our corners. Um, we had just signed the one guy who was on the
Hmm.
Redskins, or not Redskins, the
Yeah,
Washington last
Emmanuel
year.
Forbes.
He's been on the team for less than 2 weeks. And the Rams
Yep.
don't have the strongest corners as it is. And you knew the game plan going in for the Rams was do not let Saquon Barkley run over 200 yards again on us. So our
Yep.
Hmm.
whole preparation was probably to stop the run, in which I think we did a really good job at. He had under 50 yards.
Amazing.
And I think that's an incredible reflection of our D line and our linebackers who just got smoked last year by them. Um, and if the Eagles didn't adjust to the pass, then we would have definitely won
Yep.
easily. Um,
Hmm.
the special teams, it was surprising to me, like the one block kick, yeah, but two in a row, that was shocking, especially because at that point we had made, I think, 5 field goals before that, and we obviously didn't have those blocked. So what happened in the last 2 field goals? We could have gone up to uh, 8 point game, and then that was blocked, and then we could have gotten the win, and then that was blocked. So something changed between the first half and the second half with those block kicks. But as a whole, I'm really happy with how the Rams played. It could have easily been a blowout, just like it was during the regular season last year, especially in Philadelphia. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Rams showed that
Hmm.
they are a top tier team in the NFL right now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, question back to you, Corey.
Mhm.
Are you waking up today more upset with the Rams? Are you happy with their performance? Like, do you think this game is more about the Eagles' comeback victory or the Rams' collapse?
I think that's a great question. I think it's more about the Eagles being able to be a multi-dimensional offense again.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the focus I've seen and I
Hmm.
agree with is they can pass the ball. Everyone knew they could, but like they showed that they still could. And not only did they show they could, but they can win games doing that. And they showed that
Hmm.
versus the
Hmm.
Rams. I'm not sitting here feeling like, oh, the Rams collapsed. I don't think we had a strong second half. We did score a touchdown in the third quarter, and we were in field goal range twice, which would have been
Oh
another
yeah.
6 points
Hmm.
there with that were
Yep.
blocked. And I thought we still, like, we had a couple slow drives there in the second half, but like overall, we didn't. It wasn't like the Eagles' first half. Like I think a lot of
Yeah.
people look at the box scores and they're like, "Oh, Eagles did nothing first half, Rams did nothing second half." Well, the Rams did a lot of stuff the second half. Eagles
They
did
did.
do nothing the first half. Um,
Yep.
and the Rams
Hmm.
wouldn't have been in field goal position twice if they were to have done nothing. And our kickoff team was incredible all day long. You guys had terrible starting position the whole game.
Horrible.
So
Hmm.
I
Horrible.
think we played really well. I think it really showed that Eagles were the better team. They figured it out in the end. And the highlight is the Eagles can still pass the ball.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I do have two Rams takes I want to bounce
Mhm.
off
Go
of
for it.
Corey specifically. But Ryan, I want to give you a chance to speak your mind.
So interesting. So I like I said last week, I had a tea time at like 1:45, right? So I was at this beautiful private course. My brother and I are watching the game on my phone. I literally see Zach Vaughn's interception. I saw us go down, do our false to start tush pushes and get in the end zone. And I'm like, we got this. I then I then tell my brother, I'm like, hey, I'm shutting my phone on airplane mode because I just want to kind of like enjoy the golf and be there. And I put the phone in my bag. I like completely disregarded it. But our caddies were diehard. Well, one of them is diehard Eagle fan. He keeps checking his phone. He's like, dude, the Eagles are down by like 19 points. Or I was like, what? I'm on hole five. What? And he's like, yeah, dude, like hurt sucks. Like, like every Birds fan, like we can't throw the ball. We can't do this. So I was like, all right, like whatever, like Rams owned us. All good. And then I run to the bathroom on hole 8 and I go get a drink and I grab my wallet, my phone, and my phone's not on airplane mode. I had 185 messages. And I was like
Oh,
what's
goodness.
happening? So I instantly I was like let me pull up the game for it was like 3:58,
Mhm.
3:57 p.m. I pull up the game and the next play I see is the Devontae Smith fourth down touchdown.
Wow.
And
Mhm.
then and then I'm literally on the golf course like this because I'm so locked in. And then my
Yeah.
brother and I watched like Jordan Davis block the field goal, and we're going nuts on like a
Mhm.
professional golf course where you're like,
Awesome.
you know what I mean? You're like not supposed to
Awesome.
act like that, but like I didn't
Oh my gosh.
I didn't give one crap. And our other caddy was a diehard Packers fan, and he was crushed. He
Oh my
was
gosh.
he was like, what happened? So sorry, that's my story. But I watched the game in kind of its totality. I recorded it and just kind of fast forward. I think my main takeaways are like I know like the Eagles are Nick Sirianni's 4-0 against Sean McVay. He kind of does dominate them, but at the same time, like the Rams and Eagles games are always so good.
Mhm.
Um, they're just box office. Whether it was in LA last year in the playoffs, it was the closest game, and this game. I think the Rams can go toe to toe on both sides of the ball. Um, I think this game came down to AJ, him making plays. It came down to, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, Fred Johnson filling in for uh,
Matt Pryor.
Matt Pryor, who was just the worst. So
Horrible.
when I saw Lane Johnson go down, that was like as soon as I turned it off, I was like, this is concerning. So the Eagles' record without Lane Johnson is 15-23. Their
Mhm.
Yep.
record with him are they're 102 and 55. Like it is night and day. And like the first
Mhm.
play, Lane Johnson's out. Jared Verse just owned us
Yep.
and instant fumble. Or like, you know what I mean? So I think it came down to that. It came down to Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter kind of making that block. And it
Mhm.
honestly was so exciting. I had some coworkers at the game. They
Mhm.
said it was the most exciting regular season game that they've ever been to.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And like I think there's
Oh
something
my
special
gosh.
about like when you're like beat down, you're getting punched in the
Hmm.
face, and then you kind of win out of nowhere, more or less,
Mhm.
and
Hmm.
you see you see like your team perform in the ways that like you want to perform. It wasn't just Saquon breaking runs. Saquon really didn't do anything. It was
Mhm.
all Hurts in the passing game. Huge third down and 10
Yep.
conversions, third and 12, a fourth down conversion. Like
Mhm.
the Eagles very easily deserved and
Yeah.
could have lost this game. Um,
Yep.
and I think credit to us. I think all of us predicted like obviously it's a 3.5 point spread, but
Yeah.
the best bad beat. If you guys ever want to be entertained, like go on Twitter and type in like bad beat Rams, and it's all these
Mhm.
people who have bet the Rams plus 3.5 points, like a lot of money, and
Mhm.
then they're sitting there comfortable regardless if the field goal goes in or not, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan
And then it
Davis
runs
runs
it
it in.
back.
Yeah, and they're like, this just can't be possible. Like this
Yeah.
is
I had $10 against my grandfather. I had the Rams at 3.5 points. I had 100 push-ups with one of my employees. Rams plus 3.5. I'm in a football pool. I bet all my points Rams plus 3.5. I
see,
lost everything on that kick return. I
yeah.
was it was actually baffling.
Yeah, and like to our point last week, you were asking who do we pick? I think all of us said Rams 3.5 if we had to pick a side
Yeah.
in terms of the points, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. But that's my take, Mike. Back to you. Kind of, I know you have two kind of Rams
Yeah, so
points.
so so two things on the Rams. I would say one, um, I think the Rams showed, and this was important for them. They're gonna be considered a passing team, right? Because of Puka Nacua, because of Devontae Adams, and Puka's unbelievable, right? I mean, the dude I
Mhm.
think is the best receiver in the NFL.
Mhm.
Um, but they showed they could run the ball, right? That
Yeah.
combo, Kyrie
That was
Williams, Blake
impressive.
Corum, and to put up 160 yards on the ground. Plus, in addition to that, I actually thought they did a great job. I was watching some of the highlights. they did a great job protecting Stafford. One, he didn't take a sack. Two,
Hmm.
they were picking up the blitz well. I mean, they were
Yeah.
giving him time in the pocket. And so when you go back and look, you're like, from now, okay, they could have converted on some third and shorts in the red zone to, convert more field goals into touchdowns. But
Yeah.
like some of that stuff, you kind of credit to the Eagles because I do think the Eagles have a defense that's like a bend,
Hmm.
don't break.
Yeah,
And
they do
so,
have that. You're right.
yeah, so when I look at the Rams, I'm like, dude, the better team doesn't always win. I actually think the Rams were the better team yesterday,
Hmm.
and um, and so, but what I would say that is potentially a downside for the Rams would be you potentially just played like, are the Rams going to play better than them? Like the Rams, in
Better.
my opinion, played their bet. Like that was their like that was I give them an A in that game. Now you might say, do they deserve an A? I'd say yes because Corey, to your point, I still think the Rams were playing well in the second. Like the Eagles were embarrassing in the first half. That was an
Yeah.
F minus in the first half, and then you give them an A in the second half. But that probably equaled out to a game that was maybe a B minus, a C plus. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what your take is, Corey. I'm kind of sitting back like, okay, was this the Rams A game? They still ended up losing. Obviously, like the block kicks is kind of a like the Rams should have won the game. They were the better
Yeah.
team. They played the better game. It makes you wonder, is this turning into, and I would say not yet, but it is if they meet in the playoffs and the Eagles win. It's official. If the Eagles beat the Rams in the playoffs this year, the Eagles are the official new Chiefs and the Rams are the official new Bills. It just is.
Yeah.
And I know you might hate that, but like that to me is the comparison. It's like the Bills have played the Chiefs multiple times. They didn't even beat the Chiefs in the regular season. But at the end of the day, they've outplayed the Chiefs in multiple games, and the Chiefs just won. The Chiefs just beat,
Yeah.
and it's like the flukiest stuff. Like, I mean, the classic people think about is that duel back and forth in the divisional round.
Hmm.
Uh, or was that the championship? Was that the AFC championship? Where Tyreek Hill ends up,
Hmm.
they get the field goal at the very end and win in overtime. Um, anyway, I would want to hear your take, Corey. Like, do you think that was an A level game from the Rams? And if not, what made it not A level? Like to me, the
Yeah.
block field was kind of a fluky thing. I don't really give them a bad grade for that. Like I thought
I
their
give them a
kickoffs were unbelievable.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean and I thought offensive defensively, like their corners got burned. Like I'll give them that. But they brought pressure most of the
Hmm.
game. I thought they blitzed well. I thought they ran the ball unbelievable. I thought Stafford maybe had a few misses, but he distributed well. Devontae Adams has a big touchdown. Nakua dominates. I'm like, what else could the Rams have asked?
All right. So I have a few things for this. Um, I don't think the Rams corners locked the game down, but I don't think they necessarily lost it for us either. AJ Brown is not an easy guy to
Yeah,
tackle.
yeah,
Um, they had a lot of blitzes off the corners and had sacks off of those blitzes. We had a
yeah.
corner who's been on the team for less than 2 weeks. So we weren't set up to succeed, and it could have been a lot worse. And I've seen it be a lot worse with our corners.
Mm, mm,
Um, I thought they did enough to win us the game. And if it wasn't for the blocked field goals, we would have won the game.
yeah,
The second blocked field goal, I think that was just a lack of execution. Maybe Cardi could have got the kick a little higher.
yeah.
Um,
He kicks it low. He's a low
he
kicker.
does. Another thing I think about, you kind of alluded to, is this like the Rams' best? I don't think it is under Sean McVay. If I was still under
Yeah,
Jeff Fisher or something like that, I was like, yeah, we're never playing as good as that again. Um, Devontae Adams and Stafford, I think, are still trying to
mm,
get connected. There was probably two or three long balls to Devontae Adams that
yeah,
were typically caught by him, and they just
sure.
weren't this time around. And I don't think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
because he's losing his edge. I think he's still just kind of trying to find his way with Stafford. This is only their third game playing together because Stafford he didn't do anything in the offseason because of back injury.
yeah, yeah,
So they've really only had 3 weeks of
yeah,
building a chemistry where you see the opposite with Puka, where Puka will catch almost anything. But you see those glimpses with Devontae Adams and crazy catches where you're like, yeah, this is the connection that they're going to have in the future. Um, I think there's a lot left on the table for the Rams. And you think about it like this too. We got into field goal range 5 times between
yeah,
the first in the first 3 quarters.
yeah.
if you just convert one of those to a touchdown, which we had balls that hit Devontae Adams' hands and bounced off,
Yep.
like the Eagles would have just been out of it from the beginning. They couldn't
Yeah.
have climbed back from that. So I'm honestly really happy with how the Rams played overall. I think it was just one play away from us having a very different conversation today, and I think um, like I said in the beginning, I think the Rams really proved that they are a top tier game or a top tier team, even with the one loss versus the Eagles.
Yeah.
Love it. And kind of switching. Um, Obviously, a lot of national media is talking about two things with the game. One, it's like the tush push, some of the missed calls. You can say Devontae Adams pushed off. You can say AJ Brown pushed off on his. There's
Mhm.
Right.
possibly a missed call on Puka Nacua versus I think it's
Oh,
Quinion.
did you see
And you,
that Puka Nacua got flagged for
yep,
taunting? Yeah,
yep,
he does that every single play.
yeah,
Every
and
single play.
And
yeah,
AJ
Puka's
Brown got flags for pushing.
yeah,
He got pushed and he pushed back and they flagged him.
yeah.
yeah,
All the
It's
taunting
on
BS needs to stop. It all needs to stop.
yeah. Honestly,
yep,
I will say from a penalty point of view, I think it all evened out in the end. Because the
Yeah.
Rams kind of got one with the push off, the
Yeah.
Eagles kind of got one with the push off. Like, yeah, maybe that you missed some tush push false starts, but like, I
hmm
honestly don't think it would have changed much. I think even if the Eagles start, like we're not the type of team that would probably be able to stop that anyways. So even if you guys didn't false start, you're probably still getting the first down. So I kind of
hmm
brushed those off. Yeah, and then we kind of traded the taunting penalty. So I think overall it was kind of traded well with the penalties. You wish you had
Yeah.
less of them, but I don't think it was game breaking.
yeah,
Yeah.
and shocker, Jalen Carter got another taunting penalty, which
Yeah,
is
I know.
of no surprise.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
did.
yes,
Hey, my takes week one. Jalen is who
Mhm.
he is. Jalen Hurts is who he is. Jalen Carter is who he is.
Yeah.
And I said, we'll see more of these down the road.
and
All right, continue.
everyone's loving on Jordan Davis as he should, but Jalen blocked the first field goal.
He did.
It
Carter
was,
Yeah.
blocked first.
yeah. But kind of separately, right? So a lot of the national media conversation is around Jalen Hurts. Like, can he ever pass? Is he just a running quarterback? I think everyone agrees Matthew Stafford is overall like better passer of the ball. But if you look at all the stat categories from ratings to touchdowns to efficiency to QBR,
Yep.
Hurts has outperformed Matthew Stafford in all four games
Yep.
combined.
hmm hmm
So
Yep.
give me your guys' thoughts on not necessarily Stafford versus Hurts or like why do you think Jalen Hurts is so looked down upon, even though he performs at the highest level in the biggest games, and anytime he needs to perform at a high level and get us back, he usually does.
Yep.
Either of you guys can take that.
So I think people are still used to a lot of the era of quarterbacks beforehand with
hmm
Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, um, Brett Favre. Well, Brett Favre was a little bit more of a running quarterback, but more of
hmm
those Tom Brady, more of those pocket passers.
hmm
And whenever you had a running quarterback in those days, it's just like they're a running quarterback, they can't pass. And I feel like I still see that sometimes because you see that with um, other quarterbacks, running quarterbacks throughout the league too, like Lamar
Yep.
Jackson. For I mean, that was a huge debate for the first 5 years of his career too. Like, can he pass
Yep.
the ball?
Yep.
Um, and I think running quarterbacks, or not even running, I don't know if I would call Hurts a running quarterback, but
Yeah.
quarterbacks who can run the ball well,
hmm
I think they're just always going to be questioned that.
hmm
And the thing is, I don't think you're going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL if you can't pass the ball. Nowadays, I think Hurts is a good passing quarterback. I just don't think he has the opportunity. I don't even want to say
hmm
opportunity. I just don't think he needs to pass it a lot of times. When you
hmm
have as strong of a run game as the Eagles do, you just don't have to pass the ball as long. And people just look at the stat line and they're like, oh, he only threw 150 yards and one touchdown.
hmm
It's like, yeah, because
hmm
Barkley ran 200 yards and got three touchdowns. You don't have to pass the ball when you're leading by 20 points. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think the Rams showed that he was a good passer because when you do get behind, you got to pass the ball more to keep the clock under control.
Yep.
And Jalen Hurts did just that, and he passed well. He got conversions. He made accurate passes. Um, in my mind, I think it's just people being naive and kind of stuck in their times a lot with comments
Hmm.
like that. But I think
Hmm.
he showed today that he can pass the ball, or yesterday that he can pass the ball just fine.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, I would say first off, I think that Jalen is the most controversial player in the NFL currently. I think he may continue to be, and it's
Let's
fascinating.
go.
Um, so I think to answer the question, you do have to go back to uh, beginning of last year.
Beginning
Um,
of last year.
Jalen
Okay.
throws well. First off, I mean technically, you could say it goes back to their collapse 2 years ago. They're 10-1. They absolutely fall apart. Part of that process, Jalen is turning the ball over consistently.
Hmm.
Hmm.
They opened in Brazil last year against the Packers. He opens with two straight turnovers, a pick and a fumble.
Yeah, I remember
Throws
that.
a pick to lose to the Falcons week two. They turn it over multiple times against the Saints. Part of that was Sirianni making bogus calls, and then he turns it over multiple times against the Bucs, albeit without Devonta or AJ Brown or Goddard. In that bye week, they decided, and this is fact. Like you could look this up.
Hmm.
They decided, you know what? If you win the turnover battle, you win 80% of the time. Screw the whole throw the ball crazy. We're going to play conservative ball. We're going to prioritize Saquon Barkley, and it works.
Hmm.
That will not work this year. That's a fact, and it's being proven. You could argue, well, is it being proven that it still work? They don't have to do that. Well, in the week first, sure, except a Kelsey drop and a Sedarian DeLeon drop, multiple of them. By the way, that's CeeDee Lamb for those who are wondering. Right, those two drop, and so if they don't drop those balls, all of a sudden the Eagles are 1-2 right now. I mean, I don't like right. So their season's so up in the air, and at this point, the Eagles can't win that way anymore. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So they have to change the way they're going to go about it. Clearly, the problem is, I think Kevin Batula, their new offensive coordinator, right? For those who don't know, he's the new guy. What's his face left for New Orleans is the head coach there. They're 0-3. They suck. Maybe he'll get fired at the end of the year. I don't know. Kellen Moore, right?
Kellen Moore. Yeah. Terrible team.
But the point was they went conservative with Kellen Moore. Saquon gets his 2,000 yards. They win the Super Bowl. Everyone's like, oh, look, you can do it. If you're going to win the Super Bowl, you can't always do it the same way, right? It's got to be a different way.
Totally.
Teams figure it
To
out. I
me,
mean,
this
the
has to be,
Rams guarantee were like, we're
The
just going to
Rams did
stop
amazing.
Barkley. Like
which is
that was the
smart.
goal.
That's what
But
they
that's
should
what
do.
every team's starting to do. They're like, hey,
100%.
if the Eagles are going to beat
the
us, they're
box.
going to have to figure it out differently.
Yes. So people will say it this way. They'll say, get the run game going to open up the pass. The Eagles are the opposite. They need to start with the pass, get the pass going to open up the run. I'm dead serious. Because
It
teams
worked
are
for
just
them.
going to load the box. The Rams did it, right? The Rams
Yeah.
are like, I
That's
dare
exactly
you
what
to beat
happened.
us. They have to burn the corners a couple times, and then the defenses go, oh my gosh, we have to change our scheme. And then it opens up things for Saquon. Guarantee it will happen. I personally think the Eagles will go down to Tampa next week, and I think they'll go right back to what they were doing in the first half against the Rams. That's my. I'm dead serious. I think they're going to go right back to it, and Twitter is going to erupt. They're going to be like, "What the frick are they doing?" And it's just going to be them being like, "Oh, we got to win the turnover battle." And hopefully the same thing happens. Get punched in the mouth, and Jalen's just like, "Screw this! I'm not doing this crap anymore. I'm going to open it up." So yeah, we'll see. I would love to hear, Ryan, what you think. I mean, one, do you have a different take than that? Two, do you think the Eagles will continue with what they did in the second half against the Rams
Hmm.
next week and moving forward?
Yeah, it's a good question. I do really agree with your point that the Eagles do need to establish the pass before establishing the run, which is just so weird to say. But that's exactly like of what I watched, that's exactly what happened. Like Saquon started to get, I don't know, 6, 7 yards a carry only on those couple drives. Other than that, he had 2 to 3 yards a carry. Like he was doing more or less nothing. And I don't people think Saquon's taking a step back. He's got nowhere to go. Like
Yeah.
he's just running into to defenders. Um and I don't know, like it's a hard concept, but like I said last week, I'm telling you, the Eagles, like they just win games. Like it doesn't
Mhm.
matter how they need to do it. Like they just win. So like last week against the Chiefs, they looked terrible all game, but somehow won. They looked terrible for 60% of this game. I think people forget that the third quarter started with a fumble that verse created, and then the Rams instantly scored, right? That was
I
in the third
remember
quarter.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like two plays, I was like, this is insane. So
Are you not
I
afraid that that's the very same
I,
verbiage they used 2 years ago when the Eagles started 10-1? They're like, "Oh, dude, it looks ugly. They just find ways to win, and then it all falls apart." You're like, "Can you?"
Well,
I
that's
don't
the
know. That was the
fire
Chiefs
that
last year, dude. They got bent over in the
so
yeah.
Super Bowl. Like
if
at
you
some point, you get owned.
yep. If you go back though, so I mean like my memory could be right. So that when we were 10-1, right? Like we were winning games the luckiest way. Like that Bills game we won, Jalen's like out of bounds throwing it up and
It was
our
identical
fourth
to
re
this season, basically, so far.
yes, but I haven't seen the Eagles shred someone's like I don't know, like their passing offense shred a defense since last year. Obviously in the Super Bowl, but like that like Pittsburgh Steeler game. Remember when AJ had like 3 touchdowns and he's pointing at the
Yes, in the
people?
regulars.
And that yesterday gave me so much confidence. Like, so I respectfully disagree with you, Mike. I
There's no respect.
there's no respect. Put on your beard and hat again, dude. Um,
Yeah.
I think the Eagles are going to come out. Sure, maybe the first drive they'll go 3 and out and be 3rd and 9, but I think they're going to start throwing the ball more. I think they're going to just. I think AJ said it in his press conference, like just like let the playmakers make plays, and I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay. Uh, I,
But
I do need to ask, and I got to get Corey's take on this. We mentioned it a little bit before we started recording. Does Cardi do those kickoffs? Has he been doing those kickoffs like every? So we mentioned it briefly. The
Mhm.
just the field position difference, right? Eagles are
Oh
starting at their
yeah.
own like 10-15 yard line.
They
They got freaking
averaged
Mechie and Bigsby.
they averaged
Those
like
guys are
15
goons.
yards
they were
starting the
killing it
whole
on those
first
kickoffs.
drive or the whole first half at least.
Yeah. So does Cardi do that? Has he done that every game? Do you know?
Yeah, so he's basically they showed a zoom of the ball flying through the air, and it's like a knuckleball. And he's trying to land it
Yeah.
between the 10 and 20-yard line because the 20-yard line is where the kicking zone starts. And if it lands there and rolls into the end zone, then the touchback is at the 20-yard line. Now, obviously, what happened with the Eagles is even better, where because of this knuckleball he's kicking down there, and obviously the shape of a football, it hits that ground, and it's so hard to field. They don't know
And
where
go
it's gonna.
anywhere.
And you
Yeah.
just see that, like he thinks he's about to field it, and then it bounces to the left or bounces to the right, and the next thing you know, the Rams defenders are down there. And another thing you see too, and he did really good at, is that you're not allowed to move your defenders and on either side of the ball until the ball hits the ground. So you'll see some teams,
Yes.
they just kind of try to pop it up there, but then everyone's
Yeah.
just waiting there. Cardi's doing like a nice low drive and landing it right at like the 15-year line, which means like our defenders have a good 3-4 seconds running up there
Yeah.
before they've
Yeah. It's
even
good.
been able to handle the ball. And we
They're really
saw the
Everyone's
good.
results.
everyone's going to start doing it
Yeah.
more.
Dude,
You,
but
you,
Mechie and Bigsby stood there at the freaking 1 yard line, and they're just like, "Oh, where's the ball going to go?" It's like, dude, go attack the ball, go run it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I think it's
Also,
it's the
if a guy's
unpredictability
gonna
of it.
kick it that low, but why can't the kick returner? Are they not allowed to just stand at the 10 yard line?
They could, but then
I
If
think
I'm
they
the kick
yeah,
returner,
yeah.
we could kick it
can,
at to land it at like
can
the
I
5 and then roll it into the end zone for 20. So they're protecting the
you
end
just
zone.
back up?
Yeah, but they might not be able to do that though in time if it's a low
I don't understand.
line
They
drive.
stand at the 1, but he does it multiple times in a row. They stand at the 1. He lands it at
Yeah.
the 15, like you're saying. If they stand at the
Mhm.
10, now he's got to he can't kick the low shot anymore
because if he does, they can just step forward, catch it at the 15, and then run up and get to the 35-yard line. No? Or am
I
I
don't think they
confused?
would have. I think that would be too close for them to make the horizontal adjustment.
What do you mean?
I don't think they could react horizontally quick enough the further
Oh,
up
like
they
he could
go.
kick to the left of them.
Left, right down the middle, and they wouldn't have enough time to react to get over there.
But then wouldn't it just go into the end zone?
Yeah, and then you're getting the ball at the 20.
No, I thought it's going to the 30-yard line if it goes into the end zone. That's
No,
why the kickers are trying to place it.
if it lands within the 0 to 20-yard line and it rolls into an end zone, it's a touchback at the 20-yard line. That's what they're trying to do. If it goes straight into
I
the end
see.
zone, then it's the 30 or 35. Didn't it change to 35 this year? I think it changed to
I think
35.
35.
Yeah.
That's why there's many returns.
Yeah.
So the fascinating thing is Cardi was. I mean, I think he's doing the best job of any kicker because
He showed it. Yeah.
His only
he did
downside
incredible at
is
it.
actual field goals kicks
Yeah,
too low.
exactly. It's a trade-off.
Yeah, it makes you. I mean, but it was a fluky Sunday because literally on red zone, it was like
There's a ton of block kicks.
Browns block
So many block
goal.
kicks.
A minute later, Eagles block. A minute later, Jets block. Bucs field goal and return for a touchdown. And they said 7 block kicks total on the day. One being a punt, one being an extra point, 5 field goals. 2 of those being in the Eagles game, which is pretty nuts.
That is nuts. Yeah. All right. Any other last thoughts on our rivalry week game? One, I do wish the Eagles and Rams played more often. I think they're such good games.
They are. Would anyone disagree with currently right now? I'm about to disrespect the 49ers. I just don't take them that seriously. Top 4 teams in the NFC: Birds, Packers, Bucs, Rams. I mean, that's your divisional round right there.
Yep.
I mean, I'm disrespecting Washington a little bit. They'd be a close 5th in my opinion.
Yeah. I
Would
would
anyone
put
disagree with that?
I would put Rams higher, but I'd have those top 4. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I didn't put them in an order specifically.
Oh,
I'm just saying
okay.
that's your top 4 in the NFC.
Yeah.
And then your 4 division winners. Again,
What about the Giants?
They look promising, dude. I mean, they almost beat the Cowboys, who absolutely suck.
Dude, there's a 4-play stretch of Russell Wilson. I'll send it to you guys. It's the worst 4 plays I've ever seen.
Are you dealing with nagging pain
in my
in your
life.
neck or low back? How about your shoulders or hips, elbows or knees? How about your ankles or your feet? At Restorative Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation in Thorndale, we're one of the only private clinics in the area providing true one-on-one care focused on relieving pain and restoring movement. Get back to doing what you love. Schedule your appointment today with Restorative Physical Therapy. Restorative Physical Therapy, relieve your pain, regain your life.
Quick update. Detroit is driving 3rd and 1 at the Baltimore 10. First and goal at the 9. Score 7-7. Second quarter, 7 minutes, seconds. Lions opened up with an opening drive touchdown. Ravens followed with a touchdown, and then they went punt. And now the Lions are on an 89
pass touchdown or run touchdown for the Detroit?
Good question.
Both were run.
It was Gibbs.
Derrick Henry and Gibbs. Gibbs, shocker. What a beast.
I wanted Goff to get something for the fantasy team.
It's impressive.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All good. All right. Welcome back. So now we're kind of going to preview next week's games. I realized last week we only previewed 1 game because it was Eagles-Rams, and now we got 2. So we're actually going to start with the Rams first. So the Rams actually have a home game, which is nice. And they play the undefeated Colts, which I never thought I would say after a couple weeks. So Colts are traveling to SoFi Stadium. Colts are 3-0, led by Daniel Jones. Rams are 2-1. the spread right now is 3.5 for the Rams. So that's honestly closer than I thought. I'll be honest, I have not seen many Colts games in its entirety besides what's on Red Zone. But yeah, we'll start off with you, Corey. What are kind of some of the matchups you're targeting, or some of the hello?
I do not know what my opinion is of the Colts. They are
Yeah.
the most
Okay.
surprising team, I think, this year. And I don't know if they're legit or not, but they could be. You know what this reminds me of is the Vikings last year with Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
very
Well said.
interesting to watch. And
Yep.
if they play similar to how the Vikings did, they need to be taken seriously. And I hope the Rams do take them seriously. Um, they are obviously a pass heavy team, but then they have Taylor and they who has over 300 yards already on the season. So
Yep.
they can beat us from any angle. They already have over 100 points scored on the season, which is well above the league average. Um, it could be just a track meet. I wouldn't be surprised when Sean McVay gets
Okay.
behind, and it doesn't. Doesn't have to get behind by much. He'll just start passing the ball every single play. And the Rams obviously pass the ball effectively, so we're going to get big plays out of that. And then if they just turn back and do the same thing, like we could see a high scoring game. If we're going to win, I think our defensive line needs to get to Jones. I don't know anything about the Colts offensive line, but our defensive line needs to get to Jones. Jones has been a lot more mobile, which is surprising too. He has a decent amount of running yards for the type of quarterback he is, and that could hurt the Rams. Historically, we haven't done great versus running the quarterbacks. Not that Daniel Jones is a running quarterback, but I'm saying any sort of mobility. Seems like the more mobile they are, the worse we get. Uh, I don't. I'm not worried about the Rams doing stuff on offense versus the Colts. I I hope we don't lose to them, but I don't think the Colts have the respect yet. It is funny and strange that the Rams open up the season. 3 of their first 4 games are versus the AFC. So again, another
it's weird.
game where even if we lose, it's not the end of the world for the Rams. But 3-1 looks a lot better than 2-2.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think some fun facts right now, which is pretty wild. Now he throws a touchdown a game, but he doesn't need to throw more than that because, once again, in this short game, they've successfully done the QB sneak or they'll just run it with Jonathan Taylor. I mean, Taylor's 100 yards a game. Offensively, they're just very consistent. So I still wouldn't call them the Vikings yet because of last year, because the Vikings were consistent throughout the year. We've seen teams like this be a flash in the pan for the first couple weeks. The comparison I thought of was also Sam Darnold, but with the Panthers. They started 3-0 a couple years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that. And then they just fell apart. So if the Colts win this game, I'll take them seriously. I'll take them seriously if they win this game. They won't win this game. They're not going to win. The Rams are going to win this game. I think when you have a heartbreaking loss like that, I just think your team bounces back strong.
Yeah. I do agree. I think
the Colts should have lost to the Broncos.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think if the Rams beat the Eagles last year, I would be like upset alert because I think it'd be tough to go into a game like the Colts kind of thinking, oh yeah, we're the best team now in the NFL. And then you go to this team, you're like, oh yeah, we're going to easily beat this team. They're fake. And then that's exactly like the formula you need for a loss. So I think I agree with that a lot, that I think the Rams coming off of a loss will help us in this next game.
Yeah. The over-under is 50 points. you tend to do bet the over because you're like, gosh, these offenses are just high powered. You're in a dome. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, it's gonna be not. I mean, it's gonna be nice conditions. So
Hmm.
the I mean, a few interesting facts on the Colts. People are shocked by their offensive productions, but they have arguably the best running back in football, one of the best. They drafted Tyler Warren out of Penn State. It's my alma mater. I tracked Warren well. I knew he would be the best tight end of that draft class, and I think he'll be the best tight end. I
He's
think
a
he'll be the best
beast.
tight end in the NFL in the next 3 years, personally. And I thought that coming out, he was so dominant in college, and like Penn State
Yeah.
went to the semifinal in the college football playoffs literally because of him, because their quarterback, no
Yeah.
offense to Drew Aller, is trash in my opinion.
Hmm.
I mean, they have good running backs, but he carried that team through the air. And so man, you throw that in. I mean, they have Michael Pittman, right? I mean, they have some guys, but I just think when you have a dynamic tight end like that, you look at Mahomes with the Chiefs. I mean, they lose Tyreek Hill. They still win 2 Super Bowls with Kelsey and some guys, basically.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right.
I can't compare the Colts to the Chiefs, but Byron, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. So, side note, I do think Tyler Warren's going to be. I think he's going to be second best. I don't see how he's better than Brock Bowers. He's the best pure tight end I've seen. I think Tyler Warren, you can do more with him, right? Because right, he played every position at Penn State. Like he was a lineman and running back. He threw a
Yeah,
pass.
yeah.
So more like versatile, but I don't think he has the ceiling that like Brock Bowers has.
You
Just
guys are
just
giving
being like a
Ferguson no
Gronk or
respect.
None.
yeah. But anyway, kind of back to the game. So I honestly have always liked the Colts. I grew up, I would say my second favorite team was the Colts, but behind the Eagles. I think I love Peyton Manning.
Mhm.
Um, I I don't know why, just like I love the kind of the blue uniform. It's always had kind of like a special place for the Colts. I think they were always my AFC team. And then Andrew Luck. I loved Andrew Luck. So I'm honestly happy and excited about the Colts doing well. Also, I'm like the biggest Saquon fan now, and him and Daniel Jones are like best friends.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so I find myself kind of rooting for them because of like the history that I used to have growing up and Daniel Jones. But do I think they're going to go anywhere? No, not at all. Um, I think I think their roster's pretty good. I,
Mhm.
I try to do a little bit of research, but I do think I do agree with Mike. I do think John Taylor's top three back in the NFL. He just is very injury prone. Um, I don't like Dolphins. Okay, top notch team, right? They
Trash.
beat the Broncos, their best win, and they
On
nail
a
biter
fluke. On a
on a
fluke.
fluke, on a fluke. Nail biter, but still got the dub. And and then they beat the Titans quarterback. Okay. And now they have to travel across to Stafford and the Rams. Like I just don't like I would hammer -3.5 for the Rams.
Mm.
Hammer it. Um
Yeah, I agree. I would
I
take. I would take
and
3.5.
like when I was watching the highlights of the Rams, like the Rams can go toe to toe with the Eagles. Like they have Stafford, they have a pretty good O line, Adams, Nakua. They've got a great like D line. Like they have some stars over there, and like they have a good mix of like emerging stars
Yeah.
and kind of late stage stars. Like and that's exactly what the Eagles have. And the Colts, like who do they have? Right, Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, and they have Daniel Jones, who like was lucky he got a starting job. But at this,
I'm looking to. They got Alec Pierce and Josh
yeah,
Downs.
dude, those are like Madden rated like 76. You know what I mean? And like Alec Pierce could have no picture in Madden. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of where they're at. So I'm looking forward to this game because like I actually want to watch the Colts and I'm planning on watching this game. Um, but I do think that the Rams win pretty easily. I'm actually going to put money on the Rams. I think I'm going to
There we
tease it down
go.
to like -5.5, 6.5. The only thing
Yeah.
that worries me, and I know that like right, they just came off a loss, and Corey's point was, hey, like if they beat the Eagles, maybe they lose this game. I almost think kind of the opposite. I think they're so crushed about because like the Eagles are like their Super Bowl. Like Jared Verse and Kyron Williams said that they hate the Eagles in their press conferences today.
They do
Um,
hate the Eagles.
Yeah.
and but they also like respect them a ton. And I
Yeah, they
think
do.
they were focused on this game all year, then they just lost. And like how do you get psyched up again for the Colts? In terms of the amount of detail, the amount of preparation that went into the
Good
Eagles
point.
game. That's where
Yeah.
I think the Rams that's the only thing that could give me like an upset alert. But at the same time, like I think they're well coached. I think Sean McVay will have them ready to play. But
Yeah.
that's the only thing I'm thinking of for why they'll
And
come out
again, if they
slow.
do, it's still an AFC opponent. So
Hmm.
at the end of the season, that's probably not going to make a huge dent in our playoff
Yep.
run. So if it
Yep.
happens, it would probably be timely because I think if we do lose, then it would end up being kind of like a wake up call for the Rams,
Hmm.
a low risk wake up
Yep.
call. But
Yep.
if we win, now we're going 3-1, saying, okay, we can really put it together a good run here. And we have some
Yeah.
tough opponents coming up. Like we're playing the Ravens in not too long. That's going to be really tough for us. We lost on a punt return touchdown a couple years ago to them on like the
Mm.
last play of the game. Funny,
Hmm.
I guess we just lose big games on special teams.
I know nobody. I mean, I mentioned that I'm not taking the Niners that seriously. I mean, they did just lose Nick Bosa for the year,
Yeah,
but
it's sad.
I mean, just a thought, Corey. They have the easiest schedule I think I've ever seen. I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna play
The Niners?
So they're gonna play the Rams twice. Their tough game is at the Bucs. Besides that, they host the Jags and the Falcons. They play the Texans and Giants. They play the Panthers and Browns. They play the Titans. They play the Bears. I'm like, dude, this is like the biggest joke of a schedule I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know. I mean, anyone can lose any game. I'm just like, that could be a little bit interesting. Of like,
I mean,
you guys might need to win both those games.
historically, the Niners have always been our kryptonite too. Um, I don't think I'll ever feel like the Bills versus the Eagles. I just because of the feeling I have versus the Niners, like they just seem to always beat us and figure out how to beat us. Um, we're the opposite with the Seahawks. We just always beat the Seahawks, and then everyone beats the Cardinals. Um, it's true, but so it could be that we're gonna have to win the games versus the Niners, and I think that will help. But then the Niners, they're looking so bad right now, and they're losing pieces left and right. And
Dude,
I
so many
think
injuries. It's bad.
their organization, I think, is in a bit of shambles. And this isn't even like me coming from a biased Rams fan. Like just looking at them, like they
No.
just don't look like they're really vibing well as a team anymore. I think they're on the verge of collapse, and this season might be that collapse.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, perfect. All right, so last thoughts before we move on to kind of the Eagles game. So let's give our
Mhm.
predictions. I'll go first. I kind of said my points already. I think the Rams come out slow, but I think they win. I think the Colts make it a game, but I think it's more like they have like a last second field goal or touchdown to kind of make it look like the score looks like it was close, but it really wasn't. I would say 30-27 Rams. Mike, to you, brother.
Oh, interesting. So you don't actually like the line. You were
No.
thinking
No,
you're
no.
going to bet the Rams over the 3.5.
Yeah, like I might tease them down to like 6.5, like 5.5, 6.5 for more money. Dead serious.
But you think they're going to only win by 3.
No, no, sorry. I said maybe I spoke wrong. I said 23-30.
Oh, I thought you said 30-27.
Oh,
No?
maybe I did. Completely. Check the tape.
Okay.
Run it back. You're probably
Go
right.
back to check the
You're,
tape.
you're probably right.
I'll say Rams 27-20.
Hmm.
It'll still be one score game. Shout out to Shane Seichin for Nick Sirianni alum, just doing this with the Colts. It's cool. Reminder, I did have the best prediction last week. I called Birds 30-27, 33-26. I think it's pretty close to that. So Ryan and I did get it right, but I think I get the closest prediction award. We should do a closest prediction award each week. That's what we should.
You do. You do. You get the award. I come in second.
I guess I come in last since I didn't even get the pick right.
Yeah.
Hey, throw up Corey's record. He's 2 and
Yeah.
1 now.
I
Yep.
know.
So 2-1.
I'll take,
Mike
I'll
and I are
take the
3
3
and
and
0.
0.
Yep. All right, Corey.
All right. 36-28 Rams.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's way the over.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I do agree. I think the Rams are probably going to come out slow. And then I think we're just going to start passing everywhere. And I think it's just going to be a catch up game. And then eventually we're going to pull ahead.
Hmm.
Fun fact, Xavier Howard, former Miami Dolphin, part of that Colts defensive back squad.
Easy.
You could call him
Puka
Grinch.
can't wait to
He's
meet
in
him.
his 30. Yeah, I don't know who the frick ever wants to cover Puka.
Puka just
Puka
isn't
is
allowed
such
to
a
flex
beast.
anymore.
Some of those catches that he had, that one catch, it like he didn't even catch it, and it's like bouncing, and he like just corrals it. I was like, Puka's insane, man.
What's the phrase? They're like, all right, like I swear they're in the huddle, and Matthew Stafford's like, all right, first and Puka, all right, break.
Exactly.
Third and Puka, break.
And it's like
They don't even need to say anything else. He's like,
And-
all right.
yeah.
All right.
And like the thing about Puka, it's like he's not like the fastest guy. He's not as strong as AJ, but like he's overall like a better like he's a complete receiver and he just makes
Also,
plays.
McVay with McVay's mind, I think it's
It's huge
perfect
for him.
because
You know who was
look at that
exactly the
last
same
drive.
way? It was
Cooper
Cooper
Kupp.
Kupp.
Yeah.
Yes, that last drive, I'm like, dude, thank God, what's his face? Adoree Jackson got hurt, so he's out. But then you're like, okay, they're going to target Jaquarian Bennett, who just gets burned like 5 plays in a row. Like,
Yeah.
there's
It's just
nothing.
Puka.
Oh, it was Jaquarian on the ground every time.
I didn't even understand that. Puka would just run 9 yards and turn around. And
Yeah,
then
I
and
know.
then I was like you have to be on him like
Dude, Jaquarian's like,
yeah.
what's going on?
All right.
Let's go.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on to game 2.
Oh.
So
All right.
this is Eagles versus the Bucs, another 1 o'clock game, which is a shame for the NFL. Imagine the Rams and Eagles at 4:25. Matt, like
Well, you know what the
that was my
NFL
point
wants,
last
dude.
week. What?
The NFL wants you watch Birds Bucks from 1 to 4, Rams Colts 4 to 7, and then you watch
Yeah.
the Packers own the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah. But
Yep.
but Bucs are 3-0 and Eagles are 3-0. So the only team that I would say, Mike can correct me if I'm wrong, in the past few years that has the Eagles have almost every team's number, clearly, based on our record the past 3 years, except one team, and that's the Bucs. And we've lost 2 in a row to the Bucs, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the Eagles win, and they destroyed us in the playoffs in 23, and then I think they beat us. So everyone
We own them in Tampa beginning of the year 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
People
Got
forget
it.
that. We had a safety where Jalen Carter physically pushed 2 of Tampa's offensive linemen
I remember that.
back into Baker, and Baker took a sack from his own lineman. Never seen a play like that. Anyway.
Got it. All right, so 1 o'clock game. The Bucs are playing well. They kind of squeak out these victories. Baker's Baker. Eagles have struggled against Baker. The spread is currently actually it went down. So
Birds by 3, no?
sorry, yeah. It started at 2.5 Eagles, and now it's 3.5 Eagles.
Oh wow.
So
Got that
we started with Corey last time. So Mike, what are your like takeaways? What do you think the matchups will be? Give us your thoughts on this game.
Yes. So first off, update. Ravens losing 7-14 to the Lions. Ravens had the ball 3rd and goal at the Detroit 1 and could not get into the end zone.
Which is crazy because they have
They
Derrick
went for it
Henry.
on 4th and goal and did not convert.
I love 4th down stops at the goal line.
I do too.
They're awesome.
So a couple of things. Injury news that needs to be mentioned. People, if you don't realize, Mike Evans did go out with a hammy in the last game for the Bucs. He's questionable. He's old. I have a feeling he doesn't play. Meaning, no Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans. Baker will be throwing to Mika Egbuka, who's a beast, and Ryan Miller. Oh, Sterling Shepard. Ryan Miller. I mean, that's basically
Sterling Shepard, the old giant. Remember him?
Dude, he doesn't have anybody to throw to. If Evans is out, another fun fact. So my front desk guy is a big Buccaneers fan, so he updates me on this stuff. Tristan Wirfs, who's actually their best offensive lineman, also out, injured. So they're missing their best O lineman and their 2 starting receivers. They're basically in the state the Eagles were in last year when they went down to Tampa. No Lane Johnson, he got concussed, and they had no AJ and no Devonta, and then they lost Goddard in the game. And
Pause. What's the status on Lane Johnson for us? Do you know?
good question. I am not sure. I think he's listed as questionable. So that's just up in the air, same as Mike Evans. I think right now it's assumed he won't play just because they're probably going to give him a week, and I think they like what they got out of Fred Johnson. And I think you should be happy with – I mean, I think you should be confident Fred Johnson can fill in and do a good job. As long as Matt Pryor never sees an NFL field or a Canadian football field or an arena football field in his lifetime, I will be happy.
Jared Verse just owned him. It wasn't even close. Hurts got blindsided.
I mean, look, and Verse is good, but dude, Matt, it was pathetic. So sorry, dude. You need to go maybe become an Amazon driver or something. So it's going to be interesting take-wise, right? Like we're down in Tampa. It's going to be 100 degrees, but we're at full strength this time. So Ryan, we kind of already mentioned it. Like, what do we expect out of the game? I think the Eagles come out slow offensively again. I think the Bucs load the box. The Eagles run into it. It looks ugly at first. I do think they'll break out of it again. I just don't know when. I think there will be a response on Twitter from Eagles fans that will be like, why the frick are we doing this again? I don't know. I don't know if Petula can help himself. I think he just he's such in a mindset. Maybe it's Sirianni too. I don't know. I don't know who's to blame. It's so hard to say. I think they can't help themselves but stick with – they did a conservative game plan for so much last year and they won the Super Bowl. It's just hard to come out of it that quick. In a perfect world, they come out and they go right down the field and, they're aggressive and Jalen's aggressive throwing the ball. I'm more interested, actually, believe it or not, to see how the Eagles look defensively because they got owned on the ground. That's concerning to me. I think, through the air is going to be what it's going to be. Okay, Quignon will get beat sometimes. Cooper will get beat sometimes. They're good corners. They do a good job. It's going to be Jacorian Bennett who gets targeted most of the time. The run defense is what I care about more than anything. If Baker beats us through the air with some backup receivers, it would be annoying. But can we shut down that run game or just limit it to an extent? And can we get off to a faster start defensively? Notice what the defense does for us. We come out slow in the first half usually, and then we just shut down the second half. Rams had the one touchdown. Now, they did get in field goal range twice. They had the one touchdown when they started on the 10-yard line after the Hurts fumble in the second half. Besides that, they didn't score. Week 2, Chiefs scored a field goal in the second half. That was it. They did let them go on an 80-yard drive, but they didn't give up a score. They created a turnover. Against the Cowboys, obviously the delay from the Lightning didn't give up a score. So the defense, I think, has been adjusting very well with Vic Fangio, which I think is really impressive. So I will be looking for a good defensive start, stopping the run, forcing Baker to throw to these not randos, these nobody guys, and then giving the offense more possessions to work with. And that'll be interesting.
Love it. To you, Core?
So I know historically the Eagles have not owned the Bucs like they have with other teams. When I was looking into it, I really thought that the Eagles probably will handle this game, especially with all the injuries that the Bucs have had and stuff. But then I was looking a little closer at the stats, and Mike Evans is third on their yards on receiving this year. So he's not even a top 2 guy. It goes the rookie and Shepard. They're 1, 2. Evans is 3, and Irving is 4. So they still have 3 of their 4 top receivers, and they are a passing team, much like the Rams. The difference with the Rams and Bucs is they have a quarterback who can actually run the ball. I don't know if you remember Stafford trying to run for a first down.
Oh, Jordan Davis called him.
That was awesome.
It was so slow. But
that was funny.
They feel he's going to get the first down on that run. Um,
Oh yeah.
and he's averaging, let's see, he has 116 yards rushing, averaging 9.7 yards a rush right now, Mayfield alone. Um, I think
Don't forget, real quick, Mike Evans does take the top corner though, right? Teams match up their top corner
maybe.
against him.
I mean, you think he has with
I think he's been taking
what's
the top
their
corner
new guy's
because
name?
Ibuka
Ibuku?
Ibuka was playing in the slot week 1, then went to the wide receiver 2 position in week 2 and 3.
How much is it going to matter versus the Eagles?
Well,
It's not like you
it'll
have
be
some of the
interesting to
best
see
corners in the
if
world.
if you're the Rams, you just target Ja'Cory Bennett.
With the Eagles, I think you said last week they don't swap their corners from side to side, do they?
So Quignon's on the left side, and what most
Yeah,
teams do,
so really
they
for
just
the
throw
Eagles,
away
it's
from
not
him.
going to matter as much because you
That
guys just
frustrates
don't
me,
have
yeah.
that sort of defensive scheme. But that
Quignon
being
needs to travel.
yeah, with all that being said, my point is I think it's going to be a lot closer than what it might look like on paper, just because Evans hasn't been as much of an impact as he has in the past, and Baker is playing really well right now, and they're running the ball pretty well right now. Their defense is solid. They are 3-0, and they do look like one of the better teams in the NFL this season. And they have a pretty put together team too, in the sense it's been a lot of the same guys for many years now. So
Yeah.
I think it's made closer than people think. I don't know. I got to think about who I think's going to win. Do we want to do our predictions?
No, well, Ryan's got to speak first. Just as a quick side note, the Bucs combined record of the teams they beat 1-8.
What is it?
1-8 combined record. Texans 0-3, Jets 0-3, Falcons 1-2, and the Falcons just lost by 30 points to the Panthers. So I don't know. Ryan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I am terrified of the Bucs, if I'm being honest. So I do agree with a lot of your points. I just watched this get absolutely dismantled last year. Like I think we lost by like 20 some points.
No. It was close. It was actually not that.
It
It was a
wasn't that
pretty
bad.
close game, actually.
Okay.
They were
Just how
down
much
24
it's
nothing.
scarred,
Ryan, you remember they were down 24 nothing in like the end of the beginning of the second quarter. That's how bad it was early.
Yeah. So for some reason, like I kind of made this point last week of why I wasn't like super afraid of Stafford, because like Stafford can't escape the pocket. You literally saw that, and Mahomes killed the Eagles with that. And then Dak can do it, but he doesn't do it that much. But Baker, I'm telling you, he is going to destroy us, kind of to Corey's point, with his legs. Um, I honestly might take the Bucks in this game. I I disagree. Like, I definitely think Mike Evans is going to play. I think Abuka is going to tear us up. I think, like, the Eagles struggle, like, with these quarterbacks that, like, just, like, sling the ball into, like, these tight windows. Like, Stafford does that, as well, but, like, Baker just throws it. And I think this game comes down to one thing, and it's turnovers. I think if we can get a pick or two, like we'll win. But I think if we lose a turnover battle, or if it's like a wash, like 1-1 or 0-0, I do think we could lose this game. And it's going to be 100 and freaking 20 degrees in Tampa. And I feel like anytime I played sports growing up and it was so hot, I just had such a hard time like focusing or
Yep.
like I was like, where's the water?
Yeah,
Like
right.
I was more lethargic. So coming off that high of Jordan Davis in the end zone with all of Philly, then going
Yep.
to humid Florida, I don't know. The only thing that is good for the Eagles is Tampa owns them, and I know that they hate that. I think Jalen or someone said that they wanted Tampa in the playoffs over the Rams because they just wanted to beat them. Because like
Mm.
everyone keeps talking about this record, right? Like 18 and like 19-1 the past 20 starts. The game before that, with no one talking, it was the Bucs that beat us. That's the game that no one talks about. And yeah, I'm just like I think I'm just scarred, if I'm being honest. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm being rational. I think I'm scarred. But all right, we're about on time, so prediction time. We're gonna start with Corey this time. And if
Oh,
Corey,
Mhm.
if you
I
need
didn't want to go first.
Come
if
on,
you
bro.
if you need more time, that's fine.
No, I'll treat. I keep going back and forth. I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna say Eagles 23-20.
Mm. So that's exactly the spread, pretty much.
No, is it?
Well, I think it's 3.5. So yeah. So you think it comes down to like obviously at the end of the game, field goal?
Yeah, I do think the Bucs will lose because the Eagles just seem to have it right now, and that it means exactly what we saw in the Rams.
Mhm.
They figured it out in the end. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be 3 points, as I said, at least somewhere. Because I think the Eagles are going to just look terrible at some point, just like they have this
Always.
season every game. Um, but they're going to find a way to do it. They just seem like they have that right now, and I think I'll take the Birds, and unless if I start seeing otherwise.
Yep. Love it. All right, Mike, to you. I'm going last.
Yeah, I mean, so what's tough is I got to stick with what I said earlier. So, and I truly think this. I think the offense will come out slow again for the
Yep.
Eagles. What I don't know is the defense going to make an adjustment to not get burned on the ground. I'm going to say it's going to be a low scoring game.
Mm.
I'm going to go something like we won't even reach. Neither team will reach 20 points. 19-16.
Mm.
Is that low scoring? Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
it is.
Very low scoring.
Yeah.
19-16. I'm so honestly. I'll say I'm going to say the Eagles go down by a lot early, come back, but it's a little bit too late this time. So I'm going to say the Bucs
Ooh.
take it.
Oh,
Ooh.
man.
19-16.
Interesting, Mike.
They could prove me wrong if they come out fast. And if they come out fast, they're going to win the game. So what's interesting, Ryan, is you said you thought they'll come out fast, which I disagree with. If you convince me the Eagles will come out fast, they're winning the game. No doubt. They win the game. It's not even a question.
Yeah, and
But they won't. I think they're going to come out slow again. I think it's
to your
just
point,
what
and
they're
like
gonna do.
I don't know if it's the Eagles like conditioning or whatnot, but like at the end of the games, they just bully people. They bullied the Cowboys at the end, they bullied the Rams
Yeah.
at the end, and they bullied the Chiefs at the end. So, I honestly like I still don't know in my mind who I'm going to pick. My gut is telling me the Bucks because of history and the heat and coming off the high, but I don't know. I was so impressed by our offense last week that I'm gonna stick with the Birds on this.
Offense will kind of come out explosive, right? Like come
Yeah,
off of that second half.
yeah,
Mm.
and yeah. But honestly, like I like if the Bucks win, like I'm not gonna be surprised. It's impossible to go undefeated. I do think this is just like traveling to Florida. I can't say enough. I just don't like it. Don't like
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
the Eagles are the Eagles are the better team. I think they're better coached. So I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go similar to Corey. Um, I want to say 23-20, but I'm not going to copy it verbatim. So I'll go a little bit more. I'll go like 25. No, 25 is a terrible score. 26-20.
He's like 25-23.
Exact
Yeah, yeah,
score
yeah.
comment.
25-24.
24-2.
26-25.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, so Corey and I are on the Birds.
Yep.
Mike's on the Bucks. So Mike and I, so
Then you see, I wore
either
Bucks
Mike or I
colors.
are going to stay. Yeah, either Mike and I are going to stay undefeated.
Yep.
One of
Because
us will.
all of us picked the Rams, so we're on the same side there.
Mhm.
All right. Any last thoughts on either this past week or upcoming week? We're all good.
Oh,
Final update. We have 30 seconds left.
It is 14-14,
14
halftime.
all, baby.
all right. Let's see how this game ends.
Dude, Baltimore scored
Yeah, they drove
what?
down.
In like 20 seconds.
Oh, the blur. can see it.
Dang.
All right,
All right,
guys.
boys.
Thanks
Yeah.
for a good week.
Come
Coast to
on.
coast, birdie board, and restorative. Let's go.
Let's
Come
go.
on.
See you guys soon.
All right.
Go,
Talk to
go,
you later.
go Birds and Rams.
That wraps up this week's episode of Coast to Coast Sports. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and share the show with a fellow football fan. From Philly to LA and around the league, we'll be back next week with more sports talk.